So in the month of September, I received 10 dividend payments from some awesome companies like Johnson & Johnson and SnapOn, and I also received my biggest payments ever from Realty Income and Main Street Capital Corporation, which was really exciting. Anyway, in this video, we're gonna go through each of those payments and add them all up to reveal my dividend income for the month, and I'll also show you my total income received so far in 2023. But before we get to all of that, in case you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Williams, and here we strictly talk about dividend stocks and how you can invest in them to create passive income and reach financial freedom. So if you love dividend stocks and if you're on a mission to retire early, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to stay in touch as we both continue to grow our portfolios and collect that cash flow. Speaking of which, leave me a comment below and let me know which stocks paid you a dividend this month. I'd be curious to hear if we have any of the same ones. Anyway, the first payment I received this month came from Intel, who paid me $7.88. Now, while many stocks were in the red this last month, Intel was actually up despite taking a big hit this last week where they were down almost 10%. Such a big drop in such a short amount of time. But looking at their performance over the last month, they're still in the green, up 2.5%, and year to date they are on fire, up almost 28%. Now, taking a look at my Intel position using my dividend portfolio tracking spreadsheet, which you can start using for free. There's a link to download this in the description of the video. I hope you check it out. But here you can see I have about 63 shares of Intel at an average cost of $44.29, and with a current share price of about $34, I'm down quite a bit. This is easily one of the worst performing positions in my portfolio. I'm down about 23% in terms of share price, but on a total return basis, I'm only down 19%. I say only, but it's still quite a big drop. Anyway, guys, moving on to the next stock that paid me a dividend. This one is Southern Company, who paid me $12.51 in September, bringing my total so far for the month to $20.39. Now, Southern Company is one of the better performing positions in my portfolio. I have just under 18 shares of this company at an average cost of about $60 per share. We can see the share price is quite a bit above my average cost, so I'm doing pretty well. And in terms of share price, I'm up about 15.5%, but look at that total return, guys. If we throw dividends into the mix, I'm up almost 27% with Southern Company. That's really nice. And with that, guys, this brings me to the third payment I received in September. This one came from Jetty, who paid me $7.47, and this is actually my lucky number. I see $7.47 somewhere quite literally every day, but anyway, this brings my total for the month so far to $27.86. And we finally saw a little payment increase from Jetty. We've been waiting on this one for quite a few months. This is the first time in quite a handful of months, actually, that they announced a bigger payment compared to the previous month. In September, we got 34 cents per share compared to the previous month, which was only 29 cents per share. And this definitely bucks the trend of Jetty, like I said, over these last handful of months, where all year it seemed to have just been trending downward. Who knows, guys? Hopefully they keep this trend going and we'll see the payments continue to rise once again for Jetty. Going over to the spreadsheet, looking at my Jetty position, I have just over 22 shares at an average cost of $60.22. And most of the returns from this fund are going to come from the dividends, and we can see that I'm down about 10% in terms of share price. But if we throw dividends into the mix, which, like I said, is where most of the returns come from, I'm still up about 4.33%, so not too bad. But anyway, moving on to the next payment I received, this one came from Johnson & Johnson, which is, I think, my third largest position. But anyway, J&J paid me $26.71 in September, bringing my total for the month to $54.57, and I am once again in the red with Johnson & Johnson. We can see I have about 22.5 shares of J&J, and there's a few dollar difference between my average cost and the current share price, which means if we scroll over here, I'm down about 2%. But with dividends on a total return basis, I'm still up. I'm still up about 2.7%, so not upset about that. Anyway, moving on to the next payment, guys. This one came from Chevron, who paid me just over $20 in September, bringing my total so far for the month to $74.60. And Chevron is hands down the top dog in my portfolio by a long shot, guys. We can see I have about 13.25 shares of Chevron at an average cost of $93.50, and with a current share price of $166, that leaves me with a near 78% gain just in terms of share price. But on a total return basis, this is looking more like 93.5%. There was a time where I was up over 100%, and maybe we'll get back there, but still, I will take it. This is the best performing position in my portfolio by a long shot. Anyway, guys, next up, we've got to talk about this payment from SnapOn, which came in at $14.50 in September, bringing my total for the month so far to $89.15. And SnapOn's actually had a pretty solid year. We can see that in the last month, they are in the red. They're down about 4.4%, but on a year-to-date basis, they are up 11.5%. And my position is just more the same. I mean, I have about 9 shares of this company at an average cost of about $211 per share. We can see there's quite a big spread between that and the current share price, which leaves me with a 21.25% gain just in terms of share price, but on a total return basis, I'm up 26%. And with that, guys, that brings me to the 7th payment I received in September, which came from Blue Owl Capital Corporation, OBDC. And whenever I say OBDC, I always think of ODB from Wu-Tang Clan, rest in in peace. But anyway, OBDC paid me $8.15 this last month, which brings my total for the month so far to $97.30. Now, Blue Owl has had a fantastic year. As we can see, just in the last month, they're up 2.25%, so pretty decent, but looking at their year-to-date performance, they are up almost 18%, which is unreal. And then taking a look at my position, I have 116.4 shares of Blue Owl at an average cost that's not too far off from the current share price. So if we look at my gain, it's nothing too crazy in terms of share price, but just like with Jetty, most of the returns from this stock are going to be coming in the form of dividends. So on a total return basis, I'm up over 19%. Things are looking good. But anyway, moving on to the 8th payment I received, this one came from none other than Realty Income, who paid me $12.04, bringing my total so far to $109.34. And this was my biggest payment ever from Realty Income. And it came as a result of both me swooping up more shares and the company recently announcing a slight dividend increase as they do every quarter. Now, in terms of share price, Realty Income has not had a great month or a great year for that matter. And as we can see, just in the last 30 days, they are down 8.3%, a very big drop in a very short amount of time. And looking at their year-to-date performance, they are down almost 20%. Now, looking at my position real quick, I have just over 52 shares of Realty Income. And like I said, I've been steadily adding to this one, trying to bring my average cost down. And I've done a decent job of doing so. My average cost is about $57 per share, which is a few shekels above the current share price. So right now I'm down about 9.5% in terms of share price, but including dividends, I'm still up about 0.25%. So not too bad. And I will definitely continue to average down on Realty Income while I have the opportunity to do so. So I don't mind seeing this drop. Anyway, guys, moving on, this brings me to payments 9 and 10, which both came from Main Street Capital Corporation. The first one was $9.03. That was their normal distribution payment for the month. And then they paid a special dividend on top of that was actually greater than the regular payment. This one was $10.81. And they pay these special dividends out every single quarter, which I certainly don't mind. And Main Street Capital Corporation has been on fire so far this year, guys. We can see just in the last month, they're up 2%. So nothing too crazy there, but looking at their year-to-date performance, they're up 11.5%. I will take it. And then looking at my position just real quick, I have about 39.25 shares of Main Street at an average cost of just under $39 per share. So I'm up a little bit. In terms of share price, I'm up 4%, but on a total return basis, this is looking much better. I'm up over 20%. But anyway, guys, with this Main Street Capital Corporation payment, that brings my total in the month of September to $129.18, which is actually a 6.3% decline compared to this time last year, where I brought in $137.89. And it's not often that I see these year-over-year declines in income, but this one came as a result of two things. The first of which was Intel's dividend cut. This time last year, I was receiving quite a bit more in dividends from Intel, but you know how that goes, guys. And then, as many of you know, I recently sold out of 3M, so I wasn't able to collect a payment from them this month, which also put a damper on my year-over-year income. But it's all good, guys. We are still up for the year. So far in 2023, I brought in $1,511.31, which is 19.5% higher than my year-to-date income for the first 9 months of last year, where I brought in $1,264.55. So we are on the up and up. And so now that we've taken a look at all of my dividend payments from this last month, I want to switch gears and show you all of the payments I'm expecting to receive in this upcoming month here in October. And to do this, we are going to be using the payout calendar tool on the dividendtracker.com. And you can start using the dividend tracker for free. There's a link to it in the description of this video. I highly recommend you guys check it out. You'll really like it. But anyway, guys, these are all of the dividend payments I should be receiving in October. The first of which up here is Altria Group, which is going to be my biggest payment, I think, of all time, just over $50 from Mo. And then KRC is also going to be paying a nice dividend. This is going to be my highest dividend from this company in particular. I'll be getting about $41.50. And then Blue Owl will be paying a really sweet dividend as well, about $38.40, followed by WP Carey, who should be paying about $29. And then we have AT&T here, it says, paying $28.19, but I'm not sure that this is accurate. AT&T should be paying in November, right along with Verizon here. But anyway, Realty Income, as per usual, will be paying a dividend, and this will be my highest payment from Realty Income so far. Should be getting $13.34. That'll be very sweet, along with $10.69 from Coca-Cola. Then we've got our regular Main Street payment and our regular Jetty payment. But we'll see how much this Jetty payment ends up being. Hopefully it'll be higher than that $7.47, but you know, we'll see what happens. And scrolling down here, this tells me that my total for the month of October should be $228.08. But like I said, guys, I'm not sure we'll be getting that AT&T payment, so let's call it about $200 for the month. And looking at how this is broken down week by week, the first week in October should be pretty light. We've got Jetty and Coca-Cola paying in the first week there, but the next week, the 9th to the 15th, is going to be super heavy, $152.71. We've got some pretty big days here. We've got this Altry Group payment on the 10th. On the 11th, we've got KRC paying that $41.50, and then on the 13th, this should be a really solid day. We've got Blue Owl, Realty Income, and Main Street all paying some nice dividends. And then over here on the 16th, this should be the last payment for the month of October. We should be getting that WP carry payment, and then this is going to be AT&T, but like I said, this one's probably going to be coming on Wednesday the 1st, if I had to guess, so we'll see what happens. And with that, guys, if you are in the market for some cheap dividend stocks, then check out this next video right over here where I'm telling you about 4 that are deeply discounted and all look like great pickups in this upcoming month here in October. So click right over here to check them out, and I'll see you in the next one.